let me organize myself, which is always interesting when you're an informatician, right? So I am Marisa Wilson, and I'm hoping to tell just my patient story. I have not been a cholangiocarcinoma patient for very long, just since the beginning of June, but I have learned so much from this group, this amazing group of individuals, both virtual and now today in person. And I am humbled and honored to follow those award winners. I wouldn't be here, of course, and I won't be here without the work of the researchers, the clinicians who take care of me. So let's see, how do we move forward one here? So my story. You're gonna go next? So who am I? Well, I'm a daughter. I'm a daughter to an 85-year-old mother who I made a promise to my father when he passed away in 2013, that I would take care of her. I am a single child. My sister died, my sibling died in 1995, so I became an only child. My mother is great. She has some executive functioning issues and few health problems, and she can be quite a handful. So I am trying to fulfill the promise of taking care of my mother. I am a mother, and I've brought my living props with me. Not necessarily my caregivers as much as my cheerleaders. My daughter Nasreen, my granddaughter Sadira, and my daughter from another mother, Netta, who are here always to support me and cheerlead me on. I promised I wouldn't cry, but I'm doing it. I'm a grandmother to Sadira, as I said, and I hope to live long enough to see what this incredible child does as she enters a new phase of her life in high school at Maryvale in Baltimore. And I'm a friend. But who am I also? I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for almost 30 years. I'm a professor. I'm retired from University of Maryland and Hopkins, but I am a professor at University of Alabama, Birmingham, although I live in Baltimore. Yes, it's confusing. I'm a researcher. I was a health services researcher before I got dragged into mainly administrative work, and now I'm a department chair. Hopefully they find a new one. I had to get sick for them to take that search seriously. I'm the department chair for 97 ranked faculty, so I see them through their progressions for the Family, Community, and Health Systems Department. I am also part of the administration of the Informatics Institute at the School of Medicine at University of Alabama, Birmingham. I'm a writer, I'm an author, and I'm a speaker on a number of topics. Right now, I'm just more of a crier. So who else am I? I am a stage 4 metastatic cholangiocarcinoma intrahepatic patient. I am a patient at Hopkins, and I see some of my caregivers down there. You're in the light, but you're there. I began my journey perfectly healthy, I thought. I was jogging 5 miles a day. I had gone to the gym on May 31st, and I benched pressed, and I was doing all this stuff. I was fine. 1 o'clock in the morning on June 1st, I woke up with intense pain on my right side, nausea, vomiting, and a temperature, and I thought I had gotten food poisoned from a crab cake dinner that cost me $40, and I was really angry. So I hung out for a day, because being a nurse, we don't go to the ED unless our arms are falling off. So I hung out at home. The next day, I taught my doctoral students. I did what I had to do, and at 9 o'clock at night, I asked a friend to please take me to the local ED because I had diagnosed myself with appendicitis, given that I had localized pain in the lower right quadrant, blah, 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 blah. So he dropped me off because it's COVID time, and I sat there, and I had the blood work, and everything looked good except for my white cell count. Then they said, we're going to send you back for a CT scan with contrast. Like, okay. So they wheel me down to the CT scan. I have it. I'm sitting outside of the CT scan room waiting for transport to take me back, and on pops up my phone, my chart. Ooh, let me look at my CT scan. So I read my CT scan, and I read the first paragraph about my inflamed appendix, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. Then I read paragraph 2, incidental finding. It was about 3 paragraphs long, telling me that I had multiple tumors in all lobes of my liver, suspicious lymph nodes, and I, at that point, couldn't read English or comprehend anything. I thought I was looking at the wrong person's medical record. They eventually wheeled me back to the ED, and nurses that I knew there wanted to know who told me something, and I said, no one told me anything. I read my chart. They were not very happy. The local hospital wanted to admit me and treat me for colon cancer and refer me to hospice. I was a little bit shocked at that point in time because I had run 5 miles the day before, and I said, no, we're not cutting, we're not doing anything. I need to go home to Hopkins, where I had worked for 28 years, where I was a nurse and a faculty member, and where all my friends were. About 4 o'clock in the morning, I start calling all my friends, my onc, CNS, CRMP friends, and I'm like, I am in deep doo-doo. Now, yes, I was a nurse, but I was trauma, burn, neuro. If someone had a stroke, I was your girl. Onc was a totally different creature to me, so I've had a lot to learn. My angels, particularly one, and I'll name her, Barb Vandecastle, who's my colleague, was my doctoral student, was my master's student millions of years ago, was my savior. Got me into the correct treatment, got me to the right providers, and pretty much saved me. So, who am I now that I've been on this journey? About 7 or 8 months. I've been through 16 infusions of gemcitabine, paclitaxel, and Abraxane. It shrunk my big tumor that started out at about 11 centimeters by 10 down to 5 by 6. Got rid of some of the small ones. Left me with neuropathy and lymphedema and a few other things, but that's okay. I don't see myself as a warrior. I also don't see myself as someone who gives up very easily. I also see myself right now as not someone who's totally sure of my future, so I live every day as I can because it's the only thing I know to do. I have a picture of me playing chess, and believe me, I don't know how to play, but I see myself as a chess player, and I see myself as someone who is playing against a master chess player, and that people are screaming to me moves from the sides of the room. And I don't know which way to really move the horse or the queen or the king or whatever those pieces are called. But I do know a few things. I am learning every day. I use what I learn to educate others. And I am going to use the platforms that I do have, and I have some loud bully pulpits with my big mouth. As you can see, I'm not afraid to talk, to advocate for a few things that I've decided to do. So, what am I doing? Like I said, I have a few platforms, and the ones coming up right now, very quickly, in a month, are at HIMSS 22 down in Orlando, where there'll be about 30,000 people. At the Summer Institute of Nursing Informatics in July. The American Academy of Nursing, I am honored to be a fellow of the Academy for the last decade, and I'm on a technology advisory panel and a few other things. I am going to use these bully pulpits that I have been blessed to have, and I have reframed my message, and I am going to advocate as loud as I can. I am going to be the Dave DeBroncart, or E-Patient Dave, and the Liz Salmi of Open Notes. If you don't know who these people were, Dave DeBroncart years ago was a rare cancer patient. He still is living. He advocated for access to his own records when things were still paper. And his motto was, give me my damn data. Liz Salmi was a very young woman with brain tumors. She advocated for Open Notes and the ability to see her records. I was fortunate enough to learn from those pioneers and push for the Cures Act and the the ability to see your own records, good, bad, or indifferent. Okay, go forward. All right, so, whoops, I may have gone one too many. Nope, I didn't. So my intention and my pledge to this group is to use my bully pulpits and my ability to advocate for a few things. First of all, to spread the news about the Cholangiocarcinoma Foundation. I oversee a large cadre of faculty who are currently teaching ONC nurse practitioners, ONC CNSs at UAB Medical Center. We have a very large nursing school, almost 4,000 students, most of them graduate, most of them nurse practitioners. So I am advocating that my ONC CRNPs and CNS students know this cancer. I am advocating that my acute care nurse practitioner students and my CRNP students know this cancer and understand, so that when they see a patient with this cancer or with these signs and symptoms, that they are able to get those folks in the treatment. I am advocating for University of Alabama Medical Center, where I am a faculty member and have some influence in their cancer center, to be very aware of this. I am advocating for nurses everywhere to be much more engaged in personalized care, patient-centered care. We are pushing for this through the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. I'm using myself as a living example as to how our advanced nurses have to be in there and be trained to do the translation for personalized care, genomics, and patient-centered care. We use those words in our mandates for nursing education, but I don't think our nurses at all levels truly understand it. So I'm pushing this at the Academy. I'm pushing this at the American Association of Colleges of Nursing, where we set the essentials that deem what nurses must learn in this country, and we're talking 4 million nurses in the US alone. That's a big army. I'm also pushing for, because I have an informatics platform, for some of my very innovative, scholarly, and smart colleagues to help me with an AI tool, which is why I was asking yesterday, and a natural language processing tool to help take the findings that come out of CARIS and Foundation One and all the rest and translate those using AI and a natural language processing into patient understandable literature, so that providers can help guide patients to the correct treatment. That is going to be my main platform, is that translation piece. So I'm very interested in speaking to all the sponsors out here who are doing the biomarkers and the genomic testing, and I will push for it. Patients have to be able to understand what all that very important information means and how to make decisions. I was very grateful to hear that there was a nutrition book coming out for the Cholangiocarcinoma Foundation, because in our warrior group, that's one of the biggest asks. Also, physical exercise. There's a big need for someone to help guide in the warrior group on an ongoing basis with exercise. Everyone kind of has lots of issues with that. So over the next couple of however long I'm here on this earth and my mouth is able to move, that's what I intend to do. And I will begin these asks next month in March in Orlando. And my colleagues already know it, and they're like, good God, she's coming with this message. But I intend to be the Dave DeBroncart and the Liz Salmi of cholangiocarcinoma, basically. And I'm using those two as my role models. And I will use my platform. I will use the condition that I'm in. I will use the knowledge that I gained from this group. I will use that to try to push forward what needs to be done for patients and families to help them live longer and productive lives with a good quality of life. So that's me. Thank you for giving me this 15 minutes of fame. And I want to thank all the researchers, all the innovators, all the thinkers, all the movers and shakers. I am standing on your shoulders, and without you, I don't know where I'd be. And I look forward to every day with these guys over here, my support and cheerleading team. I look forward to every day being here with them. Thank you.